Boy, oh boy, I didn't think I was gonna have to sit here and talk about Jimmy Butler like this. I'm lying. We all know when it's coming. We all know it's coming. We all know it's gonna happen. We just wonder when is it gonna happen. And this is one of those. When was it going to happen? Not because the Miami Heat culture wasn't gonna work for him eventually, not because necessarily Jimmy Butler wasn't performing. You just kind of can sense that something is off with Jimmy Butler typically. The off season, we're gonna dress up as emo or we're gonna dress up as this, that, and the third. Those little and I mean, we make the joke about how, Jimmy Butler has these little side missions throughout the season and stuff like that. But let's bring it to the very beginning for just really, really, really fast. It might be a little longer than fast, but let's talk about it. In Chicago, there came a point he got disgruntled, and he ends up getting traded to Minnesota. Minnesota is the one I have the most knowledge on. We all kind of know the big blowout that happens at practice. He goes, talks to Rachel Nichols, and talks about the blowout and how he doesn't feel like anything is going to fix itself. If doesn't feel like Karl Anthony Towns and Wiggins at that time were going to fulfill the potential that they should have, all that good shit. Goes to Philadelphia, has his own issues in Philadelphia, is there for a year. They lose against the Toronto Raptors that year when I think that was the Kawhi shot, if I'm not mistaken. Then he finally ends up in Miami, and he always has different reasons. Now, again, as much as I want to sit here and act like Jimmy Butler just was this toxic guy that didn't bring any value, I can't sit here and act like he wasn't somebody that has brought value. And even though he's tried to show to be this principled person, you are on the Miami Heat, who their culture is really based in a lot of principle, a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, and making sure that your team can succeed. Now, again, I'm not saying that I'm taking Miami side necessarily, more the conversation of why did we allow Jimmy Butler for so long to lie to us and to act like he was this player and this guy that had these standards and these morals, but then we see him throughout the regular season not necessarily performing, not even necessarily performing, but not being able to, again, the side mission thing, the not trying as hard. Still, the Miami Heat should be a lot better than what they are, especially when you have a player like Jimmy Butler that shows once you get to the playoffs that he can go and outperform and outdo anybody and damn near has like this Jordan-like run up until they lose to the Denver Nuggets. And also in the bubble, as much as people discredit the bubble and everything that happened because the Lakers won, Miami Heat made it to the finals twice with Jimmy Butler and just the Jimmy Butler tenure in general. And even though those years they weren't necessarily supposed to make it, again, you just got to give a lot of credit to Jimmy and Bam and just the staff, what Eric Spoelstra was able to bring. There is so many moves that could have been made for this team, so this team could continue to provide and add to whatever identity they were trying to bring. Because again, getting to a championship is hard enough. There are teams that still haven't even gotten to sniff a championship at this time, and the Miami Heat were able to do it 2 times within the last 5 years. That's nothing to squawk at. You got to give that a lot of credit. Now Jimmy Butler's talking about wanting to leave. Talked to Pat Riley, said, "I want to go." And remember when he was talking about how he was going to he would bust the Boston Celtics ass when he had that injury and how if he was in, it would be a lot different and all that good shit. Yeah. I don't think any of us want to hear that shit anymore. It's not necessarily that Jimmy Butler can't talk his shit because Jimmy Butler can obviously talk the shit, but to the extent that he was at that time, that's one of the things that has been very frustrating, not as a Jimmy Butler fan, but just watching Jimmy Butler and seeing his career trajectory and how it's kind of panned out. He's going to be an all-time great, obviously, or not all-time great, but he's going to be great. He will more than likely make the Hall of Fame, but there are just frustrating things throughout his career. And one of those things is the way that he has gone about just the teams that he is on. And always finding a way to eventually not enjoy where he is or what the team is currently offering, for example. Right now, again, the Philadelphia 76ers situation is a little different when we're talking about Ben Simmons, and we know where Ben Simmons is and what Ben Simmons has been ever since, for example. But you also have with the Minnesota Timberwolves again, and it's like you don't want to blame Jimmy Butler, but there is a common theme. There's you got to look at this and realize that Jimmy Butler just kind of does what he wants. I'm not saying he don't got no morale whatsoever. There's no morality. There's no morals and values and shit for him. But he moves the goalposts in the basketball sense. He does. I mean, there was a point he was talking about how there were certain players that were undisciplined and should be a lot better and a lot more talented and show a lot more of their talents. Uh, and they weren't. And that was Andrew Wiggins and Karl-Anthony Towns with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then in the same breath with the Miami Heat during the regular season, we don't even get full-fledged Jimmy Butler because he is doing 20 million other things. Again, it it just is a contradiction. A lot of what he tries to say versus what the reality of it is, it just contradicts itself, and I just hope at some point Jimmy Butler actually finds a place, stays in that place. He's older now, so wherever he goes next, I would hope he would want that, and the other team would want that to be the last place, regardless of where that place is and what that team is currently striving for. If he is a veteran that's going to be helping a young team, or if he's on a team that is a championship contender, no matter what, he just needs to figure out what the fuck he wants to do because Jimmy Butler is getting older. And as much as, and I'm giving Jimmy Butler a lot of shit, but it's because when he left Minnesota, and I'm going way back to Minnesota, I know, but when he was in Minnesota, I wasn't one of those people that was like, fuck you, Jimmy. I was kind of happy that Jimmy got to go somewhere where he could actually compete because clearly, with what the dynamic was with him on the team, there wasn't what felt like was going to be a competitive team, a team that once we made it to the playoffs, we could potentially make a deep run with the difference in mindsets and opinions and the way that the team should be going about and the way that the talent should be used, for example. There was just a lot of things that took place that, at the time I understood why Jimmy was frustrated. But now looking at the Miami Heat, where the culture is a lot of what Jimmy Butler was looking for, the ideal, get the most out of a player and out of a team, to still see him find something wrong with, and I get you want your contract, you wanna, get that extension, but we all know how Pat Riley is. It's not there's a reason why Pat Riley is so great, but there's also a reason why Dwayne Wade ended up in Chicago, why LeBron ended up back in Cleveland, why Shaq ended up in Phoenix and Boston and all those places he ended up after he left Miami. There's a reason. You've heard it enough, but it's true. Truly, Pat Riley is stubborn as fuck. And if he doesn't believe that you deserve or he is trying to take things in a different direction, that's exactly what he's going to do. And I mean, is it right? Is it wrong? That's not what I'm here to say necessarily. I just think Jimmy Butler needs to do what he does best, and that is show and bring that heart and that soul that he knows how to bring on the court, and to prove that no matter if he is to be traded or he is to find a team in free agency, he has more of a lucrative opportunity and more lucrative offers, things open up more for him because at the end of the day, he needs things to open up for him for anything to happen anyways. Trade value or free agency value gotta have the value. You wanna know if you are an owner that this guy is gonna wanna be here, right? I'm not giving up all this compensation for you to leave me next year. That's just not happening. No, it's not. No. Anyways, y'all, just wanted to talk a little bit about Jimmy Butler and Jimmy Butler's situation and I don't know where the resolve is gonna be. I'm pretty sure you'll be gone. Just it's a matter of when. Anyways, y'all, I'm gonna get up out of here. If you like the content, like, subscribe. Y'all stay blessed. Have a good day. I'm out.